Welcome back to How to Cake It. I'm Yolanda, and we are continuing with our fruit series here on How to Cake It. This week I caked a dragon fruit. Not a dragon fruit, 2 dragon fruits.
Oh, you did 2?
I did 2.
Good Lord, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong with me is the question I kept asking myself, because dragon fruit has been on my cake bucket list for a long time now. It was really hard. So let's start. And let's not finish till 2 days later. But we'll speed that up in the video, don't worry. To make my dragon fruit cake, I baked 4 half-sphere pens. And I filled it with my ultimate vanilla batter, dyed that. Oh, so you know how dragon fruits come in 2 colors?
They do?
Yeah, that's so bougie. They come in the pink, right? Like the fuchsia pink, and then they come with the white. Now, I will admit, we're from Toronto. We have a very limited dragon fruit supply. We all tried to get dragon fruits. I tried, Cody succeeded, he got 1. It was a bit pitiful. No fault of Cody's. It's February. And where was I going? Why did I bring this up again? Before I simple syrup these cakes, I'm going to sandwich them together. So now I have 2 full spheres. And what I want to do is make them sort of more egg-shaped, because a dragon fruit on the inside is not a perfect round ball. Outside is what's going to make this look like a dragon fruit. So just sort of carve, as long as it's kind of like an egg, you're good. Now it's time to simple syrup these cakes. I'm doing it on both sides, so the flat side, then turn them all over and simple syrup the domes. To celebrate 4 years of How to Cake It, we want to give you guys a bunch of prizes. 20 of you will win a whole year's worth of sprinkle service. 4 of you will win a KitchenAid Pro Series stand mixer with a sifter and scale attachment. Thank you, KitchenAid, for providing us with these awesome prizes. And that's not all. We have an amazing prize pack from Sesame Street. It is so adorable. And by the way, happy 50th anniversary to Sesame Street. How awesome is that? And last but not least, we also have a Google Home Hub set. That's super cool and futuristic. Enter this giveaway by clicking the link below. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, click that button, because we have a lot of fun every week, and we just appreciate you guys so much, and we want to give it all back to you. While the simple syrup is soaking in, I'm going to take this opportunity to color my Italian meringue buttercream and try and match the color of my cake. This is always fun. That's sarcasm. So I'm using the same colors that I used in the batter, which are a pink and a little bit of violet to get more of that fuchsia in there. And so I'm just gonna slowly add my food coloring, figure it out. And I like to have the cakes nearby so I can test. Bring the spatula to the cake and see when I'm happy. To fill these cakes, I flip 1 dome flat side up, spread my buttercream, put the other dome on top, and then I'm going to crumb coat with this same sort of fuchsia buttercream and chill. Repeat this with the second cake. Cody just pointed out I didn't use my megaphone. Calm down and chill. I don't like what it does to my tone. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, I thought it sounded pretty good.
Yeah. It is time to ice and chill both of these cakes, and I'm gonna use my invention.
Yes, it's back.
Yes, I'm using my invention, which is a piece of acetate that I didn't literally invent. And
You're admitting it, finally.
yeah, I find it really helpful with a rounded cake. Smooth your buttercream around the cake and chill. I'd like to cover my cakes in a layer of fondant. So I have some pitiful dragon fruits, real dragon fruits, and I colored my fondant to match. I have a feeling these dragon fruits are more vibrant if you live in a country where you can just pick them rather than them having traveled. And I just want to get a layer of fondant on the cake. Nice and thin. It doesn't even really matter what it looks like, because we're going to cover the cake with texture, smooth it as best you can, and cut away all the excess. And then carefully flip the sphere over and tuck the rest of the fondant up underneath. Now, if you look at the top of it, there's like an opening. So it probably like grows on the stalk, and then I don't know. It's kind of pineapple-y, but not quite. I don't even think this follows like the Fibonacci pattern. I don't know. Some parts, like it looks like each, I don't know what you would call this, flap overlaps. But then over here, it doesn't overlap, it just meets. I have no idea what's going on here. So yeah, for some reason I wanted to cake it.
Your dragon fruit rant is now done.
No, it's just beginning. So I'm gonna start with these sort of longer sections, and I'm gonna roll out my pinky ready fondant, and I want it to be thicker at this end and thinner at this end. And then I'm just gonna hand cut because not symmetrical, and add them to the top of the dragon fruit. This is the part with like the fondant opening. So I do this to one dragon fruit, I glue them all on with clear piping gel, and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't look right. So I put that one in the fridge and I started on the other one. So I was like, there's kind of like 8 of these around. So then I measured my cake around, and then I used a ruler. I found a way to use a ruler to make this. It doesn't even make any sense. And then I made sure each one of my strands was that thick at some point. Because what I didn't like about the first one is there was too many strands and they were too thin. So it didn't look like this.
So measuring does win after all.
Measuring always wins. That's what a dragon fruit has taught me. Even you will not stop me from measuring. Now I have to move on to these parts here. And they kind of have the shape of a hexagon. So I used hexagon cutters to cut out hexagons, and then I tweaked them because I don't want it to look like a perfect hexagon. It's not like the white part of a soccer ball, it's a dragon fruit. So I used my knife to sort of change the pattern of the hexagon, trim it. I softened the edges with my fingers, and then the other thing I had to do was at the top end of the hexagon, sort of flatten it out and make it come to a point so that it looks thicker at the top and thinner at the bottom. There's a ton of footage of this. So much footage. And the only thing that changed is I would change the size of the hexagon cutter, because as the fruit gets narrower, these bits get smaller. But even in terms of laying them on the cake, it's not symmetrical. So like I tried to do it and not make them perfectly even. I glued them all on with clear piping gel. And when I got down here, I made sure to include some pieces that look like they haven't finished growing yet, right? Yes, so there you go. And then I repeated this. I went back to that first dragon fruit that upset me, forgave it, and repeated this process the next day after I had calmed down. It was kind of like turkey, where when I was carving turkey, I was like, Yolanda, what did you get yourself into? That's what was happening in my head. So here are the hints for next week's cake. We should make this like a game show. Yeah. Are you ready? It's delicious.
That's not
They got
clue.
it. It is from an exotic country I've never been to. Is it only us that refers to other countries as exotic, and people from exotic countries like call us
I don't
something?
think people call Canada exotic anywhere in the world.
Does anyone call Canada exotic? Leave a comment below with your guess of what next week's cake is, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. I have to create all of these leaves, tentacles, leafy tentacle
Yeah.
claw type things. I have some gum paste that I've dyed sort of like a light green, and I want to make the leaves that are up at the top here, the top of this. I mean, what is this shape even? What is it? So I'm going to use some piping gel to glue them right away into the opening of my dragon fruit. And I'll use paper towel to just help them set in this non-symmetrical formation. Because if I just let them hang, they'll just be like, this is my demonstration. So I want it to look lifelike and real, and like it was alive and cut from a giant weird cactus bush. And for these little leaves, I'm going to use some more of this gum paste, but I'm gonna make them, let them dry, and add them to the cake later on. Gallery, how does your dragon fruit grow? Oh, that's so interesting.
I know, right?
Oh, there you go. The Hylocereus is a viney. Oh my God, did you write this? It actually says viney. Vine-Y.
No.
I have a set of cutters that I think they're really for making a gum paste lily. I don't know, I got them so long ago. I like them though. I keep them in my drawer. So I use this cutter to cut out my leaf shapes. And I also want these to dry with some body and texture. So I do a combination of using my little cell stick as a small rolling pin, just any which way, as long as they have life and body and they're not flat. I need to have variety, and I want to have more than enough leaves for both my dragon fruits. I have to keep in mind that I will have to attach these, they're not even leaves, what are they? These green extensions into my dragon fruit. So what I'm going to do is use a sharp serrated knife. I just rub a little shortening on the tip, and I cut slits into all the sections of my dragon fruit so that I can later insert these gum paste pieces. So the skin of this fruit kind of has a little bit of texture. So what I'm going to do is create a fondant paste and seam hide. I found a way to measure and seam hide on a dragon fruit. So what I've done is I made a lot of fondant paste. I made so much I put it in a bowl.
Wow.
And then what I did is I painted it on. I also kept a bowl of water beside. I used a paintbrush and I painted that fondant paste not only into the seams to hide them and smooth them, but also on the surface of every one of these sections, so that the dragon fruit would just have a little bit of texture the way a real one does. Now, I don't even know if this texture is real or if it's just this fruit shriveling up. These are the only 3 models I had, and they're all the same.
I feel like it might be the latter.
Yeah, it probably is. Once my leaves are dry, the next thing I need to do is paint them. I'm using color dusts in yellow, green, and I actually mixed a bit of ivory into my green just to have it be a little less bright. And the first thing I do is in the top center of each leaf, I brush on the yellow. The next thing we're gonna do is take that combo of ivory and green, and we are gonna brush it sort of around that yellow on the front of the leaf, and then also on the back of the leaf. It looks really intense at first, but don't worry. Painting dragon fruit gum paste leaves is like applying eyeshadow. I'm not good at that either. But the point is you want to layer it. That's what I see from all the YouTubers. You want to layer the eyeshadow on. You know what I mean? So now I've done all these leaves. You just saw like 20 seconds of footage. It was not 20 seconds. Now I'm gonna move on to some brown color dust. It's actually like a cappuccino color.
Wow.
Yes, because a dragon fruit is alive. So the edge of the leaves kind of like dry out. So I wanted that look. So now it's time to add these leaves to the dragon fruit and really make it look like it. Oh wait, no, before I do that, I gotta remember to paint the leaves that are attached to the top of the dragon fruit. I broke a few leaves in my hand. I was very upset, but that's why I always say with gum paste, make more.
That for a while, yo.
I haven't sung? Oh, wait, okay, let me do it. That's what I always say about gum paste. Make extra leaves. I'm gonna make gum paste the musical, okay? Oh no, there's an elephant skin. I've got something for that dried gum paste. What is it? Shortening. You need shortening. And then they're all greasy and they like roll in on the stage. Everything's painted. It's time to add these leaves and make this weird looking cake look like a dragon fruit. So, I mean, there's no real technique here because again, so just make sure, you want some of the leaves that are open and pointed upward closer to the top of your cake. You want the ones folding down sort of midway and towards the bottom, the shorter leaves at the bottom. Be a VIP, because if you're a VIP, we send you the whole episode 2 days before it airs on YouTube. Be a VIP, yeah. You can see the video 2 days before. Yes. Be a VIP.
Keep going.
Of course, I always keep going. I don't know when a joke ends. It's not one of my talents. You also want to, I don't even know what to say about a dragon fruit. I can't believe this was on my cake list. I can't.
I look how you're so bitter about it. Okay.
I just realized I forgot to talk about something.
Related to this cake or
Related to this cake. To make the nub, what did I do? Yeah, Orhan, footage. Show them what I did. There's a circle cutter involved. There is a round piping tip involved, some piping gel, some sculpting tools, and I just nubbed it up. A whole lot of patience, a whole lot of me making faces and talking to myself in my head. I don't know. The good thing is it looked like a nub. It's a believable dragon fruit nub.
That's the point.
Right, so I made 2 of them. Well, that's not the point, that's the nub.
I know, but
Nubs don't come to a point. I want to also paint my 2 nubs. I'm using the same selection of dust colors and just, you know, making it more nubby. I want to bring out the nub in nub. It's all about nubby. 2019 is the year of nubs. It's going to be a nubby year. You know what I mean?
start to explain it and just be like,
Sorry, excuse me. I'm just someone's calling. Yes? Yes. I also love the idea of Gum Paste the Musical.
you're talking on a dragon
Thank you
fruit.
for calling.
That doesn't even make sense.
A lot of things on how to cook it don't make sense. Over on Step by Step, Jyoti is back and she has made a sprinkle cake right here, and I hear that there's an exciting giveaway in that video. And guys, don't forget to enter our massive 4 million subs giveaway. The link is below. There's so much goodness being given away. I really can't wait till we hit, sorry guys, sorry, it's just, hello? I know, sorry, we're done here, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, so let me fill you in.